It's 1877, and Sam is born into just crushing poverty in a tiny Russian village. His father passes away when he's only 10, completely plunging the family into a daily, desperate struggle just to survive. And then, at the age of 14, just imagine the absolute terrifying isolation of this, a young boy taking a brutal 15-day ocean journey to America, completely alone. His mother left behind, his only lifeline, literally just a scrap of paper in his pocket with a distant uncle's address scribbled on it.
When he finally arrives, he's thrust directly into what's known as the bead-bod. You gotta picture the chaotic, noisy, frantic sensory overload of an 1893 American port. The mud, the constant shouting, the relentless rush of bodies and cargo everywhere. He took menial jobs, cleaning floors, running deliveries. But here's the thing about Sam, he was incredibly observant. And it was right here, on these bustling Alabama docks, that a 16-year-old Sam first laid eyes on a massive cargo ship belonging to the monolithic United Fruit Company.
Now, what's really interesting about this is exactly where the giant monopoly had a massive blind spot. See, United Fruit sorted their imported bananas with this strict, unyielding ruthlessness. Pristine green bananas shipped out across the country for top dollar. But those yellow, slightly spotted ripe ones, a massive 15% of their total crop was quite literally thrown away as waste. They were tossing out a perfectly edible fortune simply because it couldn't survive a long train ride.
And right here, this is where Sam makes his move. $50. That was his entire life savings, scraped together over years of just grueling labor. To put that into perspective, that's over $5,000 today. He risked every single penny he had on one desperate, brilliant bet. He offered to buy that massive, rejected pile of rotting fruit. And the company employees? Well, probably laughing at this teenager who could barely even speak English, they gladly took the deal.
But buying the bananas was only half the battle. It instantly became a literal race against time on a painfully slow train. Sam loaded his entire investment into rail cars, planning to sell them in nearby cities. But the train just kept stopping. Driver changes, track clearances, loading other goods. Just hours sitting totally idle. And with every passing minute in that sweltering heat, Sam's cargo was rapidly ripening. I mean, his entire net worth was rotting away right before his very eyes.
He had to think fast, or he was completely, utterly ruined. And this is where he pulls off a stroke of pure, desperate genius, the telegraph hustle. At a dead stop, he literally jumps off the train, sprints to the Western Union Agency, and tells the operator to wire local merchants at all the upcoming stations. The message, cheap bananas are arriving soon, and the operator gets a cut of the sales. This brilliant on-the-fly strategy, it turned impending doom into a frantic feeding frenzy, station after station, right there on the platform.
So, the results of all this madness? A net profit of exactly $50. Now in today's money, that's only about $100. I know, it doesn't sound like some massive financial windfall. But that wasn't the point. It was dangerous, undeniable proof of concept. He had successfully found and exploited a massive gap that these giant monopolies had just arrogantly ignored. But that success, well, it woke the beast. Sam repeated his hustle, scaling up rapidly. And by 1903, his daily sales had ballooned so much that he was flooding the whole market with cheap fruit. So the United Fruit Company decided it was time to crush him. They started orchestrating deliberate, malicious shipment delays. They suddenly halved his requested supply. They even started dumping their own stock into the market below cost, just to annihilate Sam's profit margins.
Sam quickly realized he couldn't survive just being a middleman at the docks anymore. He needed his own land and his own ships. So he partners with an investor named Ashbel Hubbard to buy a small fleet and launch the Cuyamel Fruit Company. But here is the truly bizarre twist. When Sam pivoted to growing his own fruit, United Fruit actually took a 10% stake in his new business. Why on earth would they do that? Simple. To keep a very close, very threatening eye on the young upstart who was genuinely starting to scare them.
And this brilliantly illustrates the kind of guy Sam was. To build his supply chain, he didn't manage things from a safe, comfortable office back in the States. No, he made the boldest move of his life. He moved directly into the venomous, malaria-ridden jungles of Central America. There was no ready-made farm waiting for him down there. It was just untamed jungle, suffocating heat, and the constant looming threat of terrible disease.
But he didn't just survive there. He earned his respect in the mud and the dirt. Sam was actually out there swinging machetes alongside his laborers. He was clearing trails, planting seeds, and quietly paying off local power brokers and government officials to secure cheap land. He was gaining this dangerous, intensely practical edge over his corporate competitors, who, let's be honest, only ever saw the jungle through dry, typewritten reports.
But listen, with this aggressive growth came absolutely crushing debt, and very soon, a massive internal fracture. Sam saw this incredible opportunity to buy huge tracts of land at great rates before United Fruit found out, but doing it meant borrowing heavily. His partner, Hubbard, well, he wanted to stop, settle their existing debts, and just play it safe. It was an intense clash of visions, but Sam knew, deep down, that if he didn't relentlessly expand, the monopoly would eventually swallow them whole.
So, Sam makes an absolutely chilling move. He proposes to forcibly buy out his partner's shares and throw him out of the company entirely. But, as you might guess, traditional banks flat out refuse to lend him any more money for such a risky bet. So, he went to the underworld. 50%. Let that sink in. That is the terrifying, astronomical interest rate he agreed to pay to mob connections just to get the cash to take total control.
So, the crucial point here is, it was total control, but absolute total risk. Sam was now the 90% owner, the undisputed master of his own destiny. But he was drowning in underworld debt, literally putting his very life on the line for absolute dominance. I mean, one bad harvest from a flood, one misstep, and he wouldn't just lose his business, he'd be crushed entirely. And when we think about modern ambition today, about how far individuals will actually go to dismantle monopolies or build corporate empires, it all echoes right back to this kind of primal, terrifying calculation.
Which brings us to the final, haunting question of this explainer. What happens when a man who will do absolutely anything for power realizes that manipulating businesses and local brokers, well, that it's just no longer enough? In our next explainer, we are going to uncover exactly how this former street hustler takes his newly forged empire and sets his sights on toppling actual governments, turning the entire power structure of Central America completely upside down. Trust me, you will not want to miss it.